also thinking that you're the problem, so to speak. It's just a lot. There's a lot going on out there, and that's okay. Whatever. We're going to do our level best to cut through a lot of that BS and reframe your thoughts and experiences as it comes to money. So, for those of you who are new to me, I am Ashley. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Prana Yoga Magazine and Black Prana Yoga and Pole. I happen to be in the office at the studio right now. I've trained about 4,500 yoga teachers and counting. I hope that one day you are one of them. I am proud to say that 95% of those teachers are Black women. And yeah, it's a vibe over here. We have a good time. So, money manifesting is one of the things that I teach as a part of yoga teacher training. It's also something that I talk about with my students on occasion. So, I figured today would be a good day to do this one live. So, if you could share, I want to definitely help some folks draw in some money and break down. Kind of where our money construct comes from and why we can get stuck in these really weird patterns that it's not even our stuff. It's not even our shit. It's not even our trauma and drama. It's just something that, something or a belief that we have acquired along the way. Now we're just taking it along with us and we haven't stopped to evaluate, like, where did that come from in the first place? Is that even me? So if you could share, I would totally appreciate it. This lesson will be helpful to somebody, and that somebody may even be you. So let's get into it. There is so much out there about money manifesting, and a lot of it talks about like changing your frequency, knowing that consciousness and everything's available in consciousness if you can just tap into that frequency. And all of those things are true and important. Like, all of that is a part of it. However, most of the time that message is coming from someone that has a bit of privilege or comes from a place of privilege. So their idea of a starting point of poverty, struggle, stress, systemic poverty, systemic stress, racism, all of those things, their experience of that then colors their manifestation experience as well. Um, and and the other thing that tends to happen a lot when it comes to manifesting or advice that you get, people will say things like, just don't dwell on where you currently are, be positive and be happy. And let me be the first person to tell you that you cannot spiritually bypass your way out of poverty. It's very hard. Okay. You are already setting yourself up for failure. So what do I mean when I say spiritually bypassing? You are pretending that things are better than they actually are, right? Yes, delusion. You can have all the delusion in the world and be like, oh my gosh, if I focus on the great things, that great things will come, because then that is my frequency in the mirror. However, you run into trouble when on the inside at a subconscious level that you actually don't believe that. So it ends up creating this wobble in your frequency. It ends up creating this like unbalanced space where you're trying to convince yourself that you have everything that you need and everything is great and everything is abundant and the world is here for me and so on and so forth. But you go outside and it's legit a dumpster fire. It feels like it's all on fire. It feels like it's all stressful. Okay. So it's not to say that we want to pretend that things are better than they are. It's not to say that we in turn want to dwell on how bad things actually are. No. What I'm saying is we want to bring our awareness to, hey, this situation isn't great. Okay? I can acknowledge where I currently am. I can acknowledge my current struggle. I can acknowledge the fact that, let's say you hate your job. You can acknowledge that you maybe need a new car. You can acknowledge that your baby daddy stresses you out. You can acknowledge that maybe you don't have the best relationship with your parents. You can acknowledge that you're struggling to get by from one moment to the next. You can acknowledge all of those things, right? So you can go, yeah, this is the spot that I'm in right now. And then from that spot, you can begin to make a plan to get better, okay? From that spot, you can then go, okay, well, if things look like this, so that this can be, if things look like me having a new car that I didn't struggle to pay for, that I have everything that I needed, how would I feel in that moment? And how would I feel in that moment is a question that you want to ask yourself, because the feelings that come up for you, that's what you want to focus on to help carry you through to the thing that you want to manifest. Okay. But you can only figure out or only be kind of true to yourself when it comes to manifesting if you actually acknowledge where you currently are. If you don't acknowledge where you currently are, you're always going to have this energetic discourse. It's always going to feel some sorts of uncomfortable. So we're talking about how to manifest money from a beginner's perspective, from an anyone perspective, but this is just the beginner's kind of breakdown of where manifesting comes from. It's not a matter of pretending that I'm just going to keep saying things are great until eventually they'll be great. If you don't really believe that, you won't get to that greatness. If you can't really grasp the feeling of greatness, then it's going to be very hard to manifest from that place. It's virtually impossible to manifest from that place. Why? Because your energy, your feelings, your vibes are all low. They're all from a low place. So if you can increase your vibe, then you can manifest and increase the things that you bring in. Okay. All right. So let me give an example. Kind of like I'll give you the cheat code to getting to that feeling, because some people may struggle to get to the feeling of like that feeling good. So even though I gave the example of the car, where I was like, how would you feel if you got the car? Some people may struggle to find the feeling of, I got this car and it's amazing and oh my gosh and blah blah blah, it's going to be the greatest thing ever and I'm so excited, now I got everything I need, I can get to work and life is grand, blah blah blah. You may struggle to pull on that feeling. So the way to work around that, the way to get around the inability to pull on a feeling that you don't necessarily have access to, or that you have like a disconnect in believing to be true, is pull on a feeling that you know to be true. So for me, for myself, the one I always use when I'm getting ready to manifest, because I want to make sure that I'm in a good place before I go into asking for the thing that I want, is I think of how much I love my children. That automatically raises my vibe. It increases how I feel. It brings me joy. It brings me happiness. So then the energy that I've pulled on by focusing on the love that I have for my children, I then take that into talking about what I want to manifest. So regardless of the thing that you choose, because it doesn't matter, you make sure that it's something that you truly love. If you truly love food, choose food. If you have a favorite food that's out there, if you are absolutely in love with I don't know, with ice cream, if you are absolutely in love with pizza, if you are absolutely in love with cake and cupcakes from Publix, you can tell I'm from Florida. If you are absolutely in love with your Manolos, whatever your thing is, think of that first. Pull on the feeling that it gives you when you're in that experience, and then from there, begin to think about the thing that you want to manifest. That's how you bring into fruition the things that you want in your life, because you can't manifest from, let me back it up and say it a little bit easier than that. If you are in struggle and your vibe is of struggle, you're just going to manifest more struggle, because like attracts like. But if you're in a happy place and your vibe is of a happy place, then you can manifest happier things. That's it. That's all there is to it. It's not hard, but it can be complicated when we get bogged down by the world. It can be complicated when most of the time you're listening to someone talk about manifesting that is not coming from the same place that you are. Okay? That's when it can be hard. Now, you hear a lot of people talk about money blocks, and you're probably like, but what if I have blocks and what if I have this? We all have a story that relates to money. We all have a money story. However, most of the time, the money story that we have is not our own. It's something that was given to us between, let's say, the ages of like, I don't know, 2 and 10. So, whatever our beliefs are about money, they usually come from the adults that existed around us at any given time. And because we carry their beliefs with us as we